Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Diane and my passion is painting and creating nature-inspired watercolors in my studio, which are easy for you to do too. I share all my paintings with you on YouTube, and on our website dianeantone.com you can find free downloadable sketches for all the videos to help you make the most of your painting journey. And if you'd like a little bit more, we also have channel memberships with loads of perks for you to enjoy. So welcome on board. Click subscribe and turn on notifications, and let's learn to paint watercolour. Hi everyone, Diane here. Welcome to my studio. Today I'm going to have a go at painting a whimsical dog, a Dachshund, in fact, a sausage dog, a Wiener dog, or whatever they call them. And first of all, I'm going to talk about first of all, I'm going to mention, I'm going to do it with these. This is the Kuretake set of Art Nouveau, and I know a lot of people are having problems getting hold of it because it's out of stock, but I'm sure it's going to come back in stock soon. And in the meantime, I'm just using this for the sake of convenience because it's got the colours I need in it, and it's handy. But you could use anything. I'm going to probably mostly paint the painting I'm going to probably paint with this colour, which is just a light brown. It's kind of raw umber mixed with white, something like that. Okay, so I'm painting this dog here, which I'll show you in a minute, because a lady asked if I could possibly do one. So I thought, well, why not? We had a pile of rocks the other day in response to somebody saying, could we have a pile of rocks? So now we're having a Dachshund. And I also remembered that a few years ago, I had a friend who isn't a friend anymore. I don't know why. Don't know what I said, upset her. But she asked me to paint her dogs, and she had two Dachshunds, mini long-haired Dachshunds. So I painted this one and this one. This is her two dogs, and I hope you can see that on there. These two, and oh my goodness, it was difficult. Very hard. It took me ages and ages. She was very pleased with them, thank goodness. At the time, anyway, she said she was. So I knew I could paint something remotely resembling a Dachshund. So I raked those out and looked at them. And then I looked online at various different photos of the dogs. And then, so I did some sketches, and these are my sort of tryout sketches. I did a long-haired one like the ones I'd painted before. And then I sort of did a puppy, and then I did the short coat, and then I put them in a coat, and kind of, you know how it is when you're, and then I tried one in colour, and I wasn't very pleased with that. I didn't think it looked much like a Dachshund. And then I did some sort of, what I would call more whimsical design, like this, in different unrealistic colours. And then I realised I was getting the ears all wrong, so I had to move away from that. And then I tried this. I did an arrangement like that. And then I thought, no, I don't know. So, this is how I spend my time, trying to figure out how to do this. And then, oh yes, and I think I mentioned before about cutting them up. So I did a photocopy of that sheet of sausage dogs and cut them up, and then I was thinking, how am I going to arrange them on the paper if I have more than one? I'm going to put them that way, or I'm going to put them this way, or what am I? And then oh God, I don't know. So I put that away, and then this morning I decided I'll have another go, and so I did this one, and I thought, maybe, but I'm not sure about the colour. I quite like the way the jumper, it kind of looks like variegated yarn, That's what Tamsin said anyway, and she's probably right. And I liked the little face. So I thought, well, that's a start. So then I said, okay, what we'll do is we get the old tracing paper out, and I'll trace it. I'll trace this, and then I'll try it out. So that's what I did, and I'm going to show you first, before I do any drawing, exactly how I do that. This is tracing paper. You can buy it online. It's easy to get. I bought it in... Actually, I didn't buy it. I'll tell you a funny story. It's it's a story anyway. We used to run a business in England, and we used to get through a lot of stationery and things because we used to teach children. We had loads of children coming to our place, and they did sums and they tried to learn to speak English. They were English children. Anyway, so we had an account with a company that supplied paper and pencils and all this kind of stuff. And one day they delivered us a pack about, how many sheets? I think it was 500 full sheets. That is to say, the sheets that are as big as a tabletop of tracing paper. And we're like, we didn't order that. We didn't. And so we phoned them up and said, we didn't order that. Take it away. And they said, no, we won't. We won't take it away. It's more expensive to take it away than it is to leave it there. So hard luck. You'll have to keep it. So we said, but we'll never in a million years use 500 full-size sheets of tracing paper. We don't use tracing paper at all. And they said, well, that's your problem, not ours. That's the way it goes. So I'm going to trace this now. This is a softish pencil, and I'm going to trace round my dog. Anyway, so to cut a long story short, that's why I've got plenty of tracing paper, but you can buy it in small quantities online. Sorry. Yes, I know. Ridiculous. Okay, so I am just tracing this dog, and I'm showing you this because some people won't have seen this process before. I like this process. There's more than one way of transferring a drawing onto a piece of paper, but this is the way I tend to do it, partly because if you think about an alteration as you're going along, you can make that alteration because you're tracing over what you did before, and you can say, no, that wasn't quite right, so I'll just alter that a bit. There are other ways, but this is my preferred way. And you can also remember to put the eye in. So there we are, there's our sausage dog. And then the next thing to do is turn it over and then go over your outline with a very soft pencil. This is a 7B, which is pretty much as soft as it gets. Don't use charcoal, it's too messy. Don't use a hard pencil, it won't work. If you do that, that works. And then you need a piece of paper, and you can position him. And this is the kind of thing that it could make a nice greetings card for somebody. 7B, don't want that. 4H. Now I'm going to switch to a hard pencil. This is a 4H. H is hard, B is soft. Yeah, I'm just going to do the dog on its own, but you could easily draw it with a person or with other dogs, you know, dog's your uncle, so to speak. So now I'm going to go over this, and the lines will show through underneath. As you can imagine, everybody's done this. Most people have done this at school, I think, probably. You know, kindergarten and all of that. This is not my favourite time of the year. It is in some ways, but we have a problem with pollen. Everybody does, I expect, if you live in the countryside especially. And it's everywhere at the moment. In fact, Tamsin took a little bit of video which she's put up on From the Garden. And I think she called it something like pollen snow, because it's just blowing in the wind like crazy. Okay, so there's the dog, and I've forgotten his eye again. Anyway, I don't get on well with pollen, so... Oh dear, I'm such a pathetic worm. So that's the outline. Now you can, if you want to, you can go over that outline with pencil, and make it more visible. But if you think you can see it okay, then you don't need to. Give him some ground to stand on. And then I'm going to go to my paints and pick up some of this colour, I think. And I'm painting on Lapis Fidelis, which is an Arches watercolour paper. So this is a good quality paper. Lapis Fidelis, it means loyal washes, as far as I know. So I don't know if that means anything to anyone. Reliable, I suppose. And the colour I'm using is called Flax Beige in this set, but anything would do. Use any colour you like. This is not the colour of a Dachshund at all. At least it's possibly one that's been in the washing machine. And I'm just painting it in a fairly fairly even. I'm not trying very hard to make it even. Go over the whole thing, and then we'll adjust the colour of the ear. And something I did, which I thought was quite effective, was to take a piece of paper towel and just go over the top of it to give it a bit more texture. And then you can just even it out a little bit. It's a bit too much. And that one as well. And then we're going to paint the coat, and I thought I would just do the neckline of his coat in the same colour as him, only thicker. This is where the beauty of these paints comes in, because you can just use them darker without as much water. And if you were using ordinary paint, you'd probably have to swap to a different colour. And then I'm going to do the rest of this jacket in this pink, and let the two colours blend together. And we'll just let it run a little bit, because, you know, it's nice to have the watercolour doing its thing, isn't it? Go over the ear a little bit darker. I might lift that out there. Particularly want that to go completely bonkers. And then, yeah, I just want to make the edges of the coat a little bit more noticeable, a bit more colourful. So I've added a bit of this burnt sienna. Over his ear again, because I think it looks quite nice with a darker ear, and also the tail. Maybe add a little bit more colour to the legs. And then we have to let it dry for the next step. Okay, so that's dry, and now I'm going to, I've got Winsor & Newton fine liner in sepia here, and this is a 0.1 size. And I'm just going to scribble in a nose here, comme ça, like that, and an eye, and then just a tiny hint of a mouth there, like that. And then because it's nice and fine, I can use this pen to just outline some of the features. And the main feature that I want to outline is the jumper that Desmond is wearing. Desmond likes pink. He says, it's my favourite colour. I think it brings out the colour of my eyes. So, yes, so we're now just sort of giving his knitted garment some stitches like that. And I'm going to just indicate the shape of his paws like this. And his leg here, back here. There we are. And then his tail, which went a little bit wonky, we can straighten that up with a nice pen line like that. And a few more lines there. And then we have a little bit of a, I think we have a little bit of a pattern here on him. I like dots. Don't you? I think dots can be quite pleasing. So we'll put a pattern of dots around the openings. I ought to make a jumper like this for Zen, because for next winter, perhaps I can make him one from the from some of the fleece from our sheep. I'm in the middle of knitting myself a jumper for next year because it was so gosh darn cold this year that, you know, there's nothing to beat wool for warmth. So there we are. That'll do. Don't want to go too mad there. And I mean, we could do stuff around his head, but I'm not sure it would improve things. I quite like the way that that's kind of sketchy. Sketchy in a good way. Sketchy apparently means something bad nowadays. I didn't mean that to me, but anyway. So there we are. That's Desmond, and I think we'll probably leave him like that. He's got a friend to play with. There's two of them. And yeah, so there you go. 2 Dachshunds, and I will put the sketch up on the website for you to download if you want. And I'll also put a sketch of these ones, which are more graphic looking, and these are in want of embellishment. You can put flowers and all sorts of things on there, and I think they'd be quite fun. This one too, well, these as well. I mean, you know, you pays your money and he takes your choice, and Bob's your uncle. So I'll let you go, and I'll see you again soon. So bye everybody, a quickie today. See you soon. Bye now.